It's only 10. Yes, that's 10. It's 10 days to go until the King or Queen of Big Brother 2 is crowned.
Indeed.
The headlines today. Yesterday, the group gathered to hear the final round of to get the final round of nominations. Josh, could you please put the nation out of their misery and reveal those all-important names?
Here we go. Here we go. To this one over here. Okay, the two people up for nomination this week are Helen and Paul. Ooh. There you go.
Right, you didn't know already. Yeah. Okay, now the group were told at 5 o'clock today, but will the news of the nominations push the pair closer together or pull them apart? Last night they were up to the usual tricks of talking nonsense and full-on flirting and the intimate surroundings of the den.
Between us, something's happened, and it has. And it's kind of like, whatever's going on, we can't help that. Excuse me for being so bold, right? But you fancy me. And yeah, it's obvious I fancy you.
Ooh.
Then things got even steamier when the pair made a beeline for each other under the duvet. And when they met under there, it was murder. Take a look. And the cockerel crowed for the third time as Big G was betrayed. Okay, woo-wee. I think it says there. I've never said it before. It doesn't actually exist. But it's in the script. Woo-wee. Helen and Paul getting very close there, but that was the last night. And earlier on today, the pair set the record straight about any possible lip action. Take a look.
It's not as if we've been snogging or doing anything, is it?
They probably want us to, the production team.
But it just ain't gonna happen.
Okay, as well as Josh, we're joined by Space Star Simon Pegg. Hello, Simon.
Hey! Hey!
You're a Big Brother aficionado?
Absolutely, I watch it every day, every morning, every second of every day.
Okay.
And at 4 a.m.
Yes, 4 a.m. sometimes.
Josh, you said that Paul's flirting was all part of a game plan. After today's evidence, have you changed your mind?
No, not at all. I think he's backing off. He's got cold feet now. He's pushed it to the end and he's sort of saying, no more.
Because she's really quite full on now,
Yeah,
isn't
she is. She's into him, definitely.
You're taking the whole situation?
I just think it's disgusting. I think the whole thing, it's like watching Del Boy trying to get off with Father Dougal. You know what I mean? I get cramps in my buttocks from cringing every day at them.
Do you want them to get off with each other or not?
No, I think Helen's been awful to that poor chap outside the house, you know, and a remarkable lack of respect for that fella.
Definitely.
I tell you, I'm angry.
Okay. Josh, on yesterday's show, you predicted that the guys would go head-to-head, so congratulations on that. Do you think that will affect the flourishing romance now? What do you think is going to happen?
I think Paul thinks he's going to walk it, to be honest. I think he thinks he's going to win it. He's won 4 nominations, and Helen's going to beat him, I do believe.
What do you reckon?
Oh yeah, Helen will win. I think you know, Paul's just been lucky too many times. It's time for him to go. It really is time for him to go.
Helen keeps on referring to stuff when she's talking in code, which everyone knows is.
I think is it the same stuff you were talking about that morning that you woke up with?
No, that was sticky.
How close am I to pre-watershed now? Do I need to do an apology?
Did
all right, lovely.
Sorry,
No, it's only natural.
Was there any evidence at all when you were in the house of that sort of code talking?
There's none. There was absolutely none. It's literally been invented since I left, actually.
Okay, cool.
So,
now we can't tell you yet, but as a speculative guess, who do you think nominated them?
I would say Dean and Helen, definitely. Brian's vote would be very interesting which way it went. I think that's the really difficult one, to be honest. I couldn't predict that one.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested to see what Helen done, whether she sort of turned round and...
She probably nominated herself.
Brian is the backwoodsman, isn't he?
I think me this
He is.
week.
I mean, he's the
I've
go-between.
done everybody else, me. It's only fair, isn't it?
And watch the complaints from Helen's family flood in!
I'm sorry, I really like
Oh, no, not for you. I'm the one always gets blamed.
I think Brian's the in-between. He sort of gets on with both parties, so I think his vote's going to be very interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But Brian
indeed.
is the backwoodsman, isn't he? In more ways than one in
sort
that
of
house.
keeps the two groups together, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, well, we've heard what Josh and Simon have to think and who will be booted out on Friday. Now we want to hear what you have to think. Will it be hairdresser Helen, who's given the chop, or poser Paul, who's shown carte rouge this week? Our talking point today, Helen and Paul, who's out? 0870 901 9070, 0870 901 9070. Now, Helen and Paul's budding romance may be the new sensation that's gripping the nation, but to watch their constant play fighting and listening to their sexual innuendos 24/7, it can't have been a bundle of laughs for the rest of the group. Could this be why they're up for eviction? Let's take a little goosey gander.
But no, so my nominations this week would be easy, which is good.
Scared? You're not scared.
Guys, look, they're straddling each other.
Oh, he's on top of her.
Look at them, do you see him? They have to kiss, guys.
Do you think it's interesting for the nation? Probably, maybe.
Do you think?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
But I suppose if I was in your position, I wouldn't do anything until I wasn't here. Until I wasn't on national TV.
Oh, exactly. No.
You've got to be honest, Paul, and if Helen was your girlfriend in here,
exactly.
how she's been with you,
Yeah.
you know, you'd have things to say.
But even keep your cards close to your chest and all that.
Yeah.
But I do think he'd break her heart.
I do. I said that, didn't I?
He would break her heart.
All right, OK, now we know that Helen and Paul will be separated on Friday. He will break her heart. But to find out if they've got a future outside the walls of the Big Brother house, we've been called upon the help of a palmist, Robin Lown. Hello, Robin, how are you?
Nice
Welcome
to
to Big
see
Brother's
you.
little
Yeah, great.
brother.
Thank you.
What exactly is palmistry? Tell us that.
Palmistry it's an old Buddhist art, really, of understanding.
Buddhist?
It's mainly Buddhist, yeah, which is looking at people's psychological makeup, their character, and also their spirituality, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of things can a person's palm reveal about them? Because I believe
Well,
it's
it can
left and right,
reveal
isn't it?
their temperaments, their sort of libido, their kind of cut and thrust in the world, the way they view the world. It's their window they look out of. It's the nearest bit to your brain, basically. Most things are done through your hands.
OK, now before the housemates went into the house, we asked them for a photocopy of their right and left palms. I know there's a difference there, isn't there?
There is a
in
slight
relation to-
difference, yeah. The left hand is more the emotional,
Yeah.
and the right hand is more the conscious, and it goes with the hemispheres of the brain. So there's the science behind it.
OK, cool. OK, now let's take a look at Helen's first. She has monkey hands, doesn't she? They're obviously not to scale. She's not like we're not like talking Gulliver's Travels here, by the way. They're not actually the size of Helen.
Right,
Tell us about them.
right, with my little pointer here. She's got very short fingers, which indicates that she is a person who's very, very quick to emotions and so on. On her left, that's her right, and these are photocopies, so they transpose. So this is a left hand. She's got this gap on her headline, which is here, and lifeline here, and these actually show an independence. And her heart line is rather short, finishing underneath this finger, which shows she's rather lustful.
If you've got a gap in your lifeline, does that mean you're going to die and then be brought back?
Oh, no, gap. This is the lifeline here. The gap I'm talking about is between that one and that one there.
Oh, right, sorry, I just thought
Yes.
it lasts that long, but there's a little bit in between where you're just in a coma or something.
Oh, no, it could happen, yeah.
All right,
it
cool.
could happen.
OK.
Now?
Now let's take a look. Probably not. Now let's take a look at Paul's. Really, we've got Paul's here. OK, let's have a look at Paul's clammy old
Right,
hands.
well, Paul's got...
Look like a David Bowie video, don't they?
They do. Paul's got much longer hands, and there are lots of fine lines indicating that he is a person who's quite thoughtful, quite sensitive. But on his index finger, I noticed the earlier print I saw actually has what they call a tented arch, indicates he's rather insecure at times.
Right.
So he likes to protect other people. And
Well, I don't
I
like
think
the
it's
look of
rather
that.
protectional towards Helen. So
I like the direct comparison there. I'm slightly
yeah,
worried
but
about
I think yours are different.
that. Oh, cool. Is there, is he deceptive? Can you tell that from this?
I would say that, yeah, he plays a game plan, he thinks things through, and to a certain extent, he is a bit of a game player. He would think things through, yeah, he would analyse a bit. Helen doesn't analyse.
OK, they're destined for love?
Well, these are extreme differences, so I would say it's destined for lust, but not necessarily for love.
Awesome. OK, quickly talk us through the rest of the remaining palms. First, we've got Dean's.
Now, Dean actually shows the greatest changes in his hand, particularly. I can actually point out here that he's been through a lot of relationship difficulties in his life, but there seems to be a very big change around about the age group now that is happening. So I would say that that kind of change often indicates a change of lifestyle, which winning a programme like this could actually cause.
Sure, yeah, and it's like you said, I mean, he's now in a very happy, stable relationship. He was married when he was young.
That's right. So
Loving
things
this.
are changing rapidly for him.
OK, now what is the...
That is a right hand. I was looking at the emotional hand,
I'm
which is
sorry.
the left. The right hand actually indicates a very direct career. So no matter what he does, even after this programme, we'll see him again, and he's got great skills in the open market anyway.
OK,
So it's
very
gonna
quickly,
be
let's have a
great.
look at Elizabeth's.
Let's have a look at Lizzie. Right, Lizzie's got She's also got very short fingers, so she doesn't suffer falls gladly, but she's got a much wider hand, so she's much broader. She will soak up a lot of criticism and difficulty, so she just soaks it up. But a short finger shows she's quite impatient, and short thumb indicates she gets on well with most people. She doesn't make a big issue about anything, but she's hard to get to know.
And lastly, Brian.
And Brian, Brian? Right, Brian here has got rather very good, what I call media presenter hands, because the forefinger is very high indeed. This often indicates a lot in the media. And also the little finger,
A lot of what?
A lot of ability to put yourself forward ahead of other people.
Nice touch, I like that.
And the little finger,
Yeah.
actually pushed down the hand, indicates a little bit of difficulty sometimes with other guys in relationships, but generally speaking, this person gets on well with most people. He's a balanced wheel, and the wide hands show his breadth of vision.
Robin, out of all the hands, who do you think is going to win? Can you tell from that?
This is very difficult because
Sure.
you're pushing the science almost beyond it, but the biggest change is in Dean's hand, isn't it, as
Right.
I said? And I would say because of that, I'll have to go with the science. Those show the greatest change.
Robin, thank you very much. OK, now the country may be obsessed with Helen and Paul's relationship, but Connie, the one with the big brother of hacks on the end of her fingertips, on the end of her hands, on the end of her torsos, has an interesting fact about her foreign siblings. Take a look at this scene in a minute.
Hi, I'm Connie Schalke. In Portugal, Big Brother 2, Sergio and Veronica fell in love with each other. He proposed to her to marry her in the house, but then she was voted out and he followed her, and they got married 1 week later, just outside the house.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Big Brother's Little Brother. The main headlines today, of course, Helen and Paul faced a public vote on Friday, but right now it's gallery chat time with a very Andrew McCarthy from Class looking. Aidan, hello.
Hello,
You're right.
Very well, thank
Sorry.
you. That's all right.
So you do look like McCarthy. OK, nominations day. They're
Yeah.
told today that obviously it's a dreadful time for them, but especially so today, isn't it? Why is that?
Yeah, well, obviously it's more difficult being the last nomination, and they've all bonded really, pretty much as a family, this last five, and I think the people nominating have felt really guilty, and the people nominated feel pretty gutted that they're going at this stage.
Sure.
So it's been a really, really emotional day, and the weather doesn't help. It's one of those rainy days where you just kind of watch the rain falling down and you get all introspective, and I think that affects everyone in the house just like it affects everyone in the real world.
A lot of Catholics in there?
Well, Brian is, I think.
Yeah, you see, I mean, 'cause I am, and you know, this weather, not, you know, whenever I have to nominate anyone for anything, I know I get a bit emotional and
Makes
quite
it all
guilty
worse.
about it. OK,
Yeah.
let's talk about their own moods going through them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Brian came into the diary room quite early this morning and talked about feeling quite emotional and quite homesick, which is, I think, the first time he's spoken about that. Dean, after the nominations, was so emotional that he didn't even want the people in the house to see it. He went outside, out to the den, the corner of the den, and just stood there for a moment. And I'm not sure if he was crying or not, but he wanted a moment by himself.
Lovely.
And Elizabeth certainly looked very emotional after the nominations. Helen seems fine. She's bubbly as ever.
Indomitable.
Absolutely amazing. And Paul came in about half an hour ago, came into the diary room for about a half an hour chat.
Really?
And again, got really quite deep and talked about his family and his friends that he's missing and the fact that he cares about everyone in the house. So really, for all of them, it's a very introspective sort of day.
I'm still reeling from the Paul Deep comment, which...
Well, no, it kind of surprised us as well, but I guess you can't always judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Aidan. Pleasure to speak to you, as always. OK, now, unless you had your funny bone surgically removed, you can't help but find Brian humorous. We're looking forward to that. To get an expert's opinion on what Brian's sense of humour says about him, we're joined by Space Star, the lovely Mr. Simon Pegg. Hello there, Simon. How are you?
Hi, Simon. Nice to see you.
I thought you were going to give me a high five then.
I could have done if you want to be cool.
OK, let's get cracking. You obviously think he's the funniest member of the house.
I think Brian pips it, yeah, definitely. He's very, very funny. Dean's very dry, but Brian is the funniest, I believe.
OK, well, let's take a look at what makes him such a natural. First, camping it up, John Inman Stiley.
I'm waiting because you're really Brian.
Don't be such a meanie now. All the extra inches there need to be tucked away, Josh. No! Demons! How rude! How rude! Demons!
What are you screaming at?
Is that just a man screaming, or what is that?
What you have here is a very funny man. He's using... Camping out is a great way for when men can be aggressive without the trappings of masculinity. They can be kind of bitchy and sharp. What you basically got here in the tradition of Duncan Norvell, Larry Grayson, Brian's giving us a chase me for the noughties, and I love him for that. It's very, very good. And it's just very, you know, it's very frenetic, and he's shouting and he's being quite bitchy, and it's just very funny to see that kind of fake animosity. But is it fake? We don't know. Perhaps it is. Is it, Josh? Was it fake? Don't ask him.
At the same time, that's in a way is what makes him so popular.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Particularly this ear as well, very funny.
Okay, well, speaking of this ear, let's take a look at some of his physicality, his physical comedy. Let's take a look.
I'm here, I'm doing it!
They won't like that. They won't show that.
From Grayson to Hill in one beautiful moment.
Absolutely
Talk us through
fantastic. What he did there was he used a number of comedy staples. He did a long arm run like this. He did fake kung fu. He did a gun. It's all that kind of. It's going right back to Chaplin, Keaton, that kind of stuff. I think what he's doing is extolling the virtues of silent comedy, which I think was embellished greatly by the music used there. Well done, guys.
Thanks.
And he's a great physical performer. He's got a lovely physicality.
Lovely.
And I think Josh said it was a lardy physicality at one point.
Okay. Now, speaking of lardiness, and it prompts emotion, and we've got some acting here, fake emotion. Let's take a look.
Great tactic.
To be honest, Josh, I'm actually finding this a very emotional part of the studio, and I'm actually beginning to fill up with tears.
I knew you would. It's you working with me. The first time.
It's quite emotional. I'm feeling a little bit moved. I'm not happy because you.
We can't. Okay, when Bubble said go.
It was him. You see?
When he said.
You can't say that about me. That's not fair. You don't know what I've been through in my life.
Fake emotion.
Fake emotion.
And self-deprecation as well.
Perhaps one of his most demonic tactics, demonic or demonic word I've invented. No, he does this because I think I sound like, what's his name? Beatty, the fella? Yeah. He's great, the psychologist. Jeffrey Beatty, brilliant. He does it because I think he uses it to say, A, what he thinks, B, what he doesn't think. That's quite a large thing to cover, but he says things ironically. Something like the emotion thing, I think he meant that. I think genuinely he was sorry to see whatever was happening there going with Josh. I think, he misses Josh. And he also says, I think he meant the thing when he was shouting in the garden as well. He meant that about the ball. He was angry. But he's not strong enough to be angry. Or maybe he is. Maybe it's just he's super strong. I don't know. But these eyes here are evil. Look at them. Shooting demonic rays out. He's the true demon. He goes on about them all the time. He is one.
OK, now, who else makes you laugh in the house?
I think Helen would be the one that makes me laugh, Dermot.
It's funny you say that, because we've got a lovely montage of Helen's clips right now. Let's take a look.
Jimmy.
A what?
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Isn't that the name for baby kangaroo?
Joey.
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 Actually, there's no camera actually on me, Kat, in here.
What, apart from the one that's right in front of us?
No. Oh, yeah.
You said, what are you like?
I think I'm the only Welsh person who's been in here, and it's fantastic. And by the way, I hope I don't sound too Welsh.
Pull out an ice cube, go, see that? And just look at you like, what? You put it on the floor in front of them and just stamp on it and jump up and down a lot. But now I've broken the ice. Can I get you ladies a drink?
I'd probably fall for that one.
OK, thank you very much for that, Simon. OK, our talking point, ladies and gentlemen, today with Helen in mind is who's out, Helen or Paul? They are who are up for nomination today, and I believe we have Naomi on the line from London. Hello, Naomi.
Hi.
How you doing? All right?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Now, who's out, Helen or Paul?
Paul.
Why?
Definitely. Oh, he's so boring. And it just, why is he in there?
Are you not sort of...
You're angry, young woman.
I am, and Helen should so stay in there, because some of the comments she makes are hilarious, like when she said, Josh, if you could sleep with one girl in the house, who would you pick? Or when she said, just because I'm blonde and I look all rightish, people don't take me serious.
Very good.
That's brilliant.
Very good, fantastic.
Like Mike Yarwood.
There's a career in this for you, Naomi. OK, thank you very much.
Can I get Josh's autograph?
I'm sure you
What's
can.
wrong with me?
No problem. No problem.
OK, now we have Adam on the line. Hello, Adam.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm on air.
Yes, that
was... Oh, that is mad.
Just
how you
don't
doing,
swear.
guys? You all right?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Who's out today, then?
That's Paul.
That's Paul. Who's that, Helen or Paul?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Paul here.
Lovely. OK, it's Adam now doing an impression of Paul. Very strong, actually.
That was good, that mad thing.
like him.
Go on, do it.
Well, that is mad, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? But I'm cool with it.
That's uncanny.
It is, isn't it?
He's got a mobile in there. Get out there.
Hello, Simon. Hello, Josh. How you doing?
Very well, thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Paul, yeah, mate.
Simon, I love space, mate. It's wicked.
Oh, bless your heart.
That's
Thank
really
you.
cool.
You're freaking me out too much now, Adam. It's
That is
doing my
an
head in.
amazing impression.
Thanks a lot, Adam.
That's right.
See you later on.
See you later, bye.
Okay,
That's fantastic.
Angela from Manchester.
Very good.
How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, are you doing an impression, like a bad impression now, or is that just you?
No, this is just me. Hi,
Very
Joey.
good, though. It's very good.
Yes, fantastic. Loving your work. Okay, tell us.
It's got to be Paul.
Okay, why?
Well, he's either got a really bad attitude problem or he's got a complete inability to articulate what he really means. He had a complete go at Josh for supposedly compromising the girls in the bathroom.
That was terrible, I thought.
Paul was there too, or doesn't he count? I mean, what's going on there?
Very interesting. Guys, what do you reckon?
I totally agree. I thought that moment when Paul was berating you for
very aggressive,
hypothetically not being gay.
Yeah, I know.
And it was like that Harry Enfield character that says, "Oi, no." You know, he says, I like Josh for his no-nonsense game playing and nice pecs, but if he came here saying he wasn't gay, I'd say, oi, Josh!
Right,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, close to bashing him on that
I
one.
wish you had done, mate.
Seriously?
Yeah, he was very up.
What held you back?
Being chucked out immediately.
It's pretty watershed as well, wasn't it? You've been very
Okay,
conscientious.
Claire from Great Yarmouth. Hi, Claire. Hello, Claire.
Hello.
Baby, don't leave me hanging here. I want Yarmouth on the airwaves.
Who doesn't?
No? Okay, Radio Caroline. Off you go. Let's take a look at a couple of emails. Guys, go for it.
I've got it. It's definitely going to be Paul on his way out this time, as even though Helen may shriek like a hyena and is as thick as two short panks, she is so honest and has endeared herself to the general public, and Helen will be staying. That's from Liz Quaintance. God bless you, Liz.
I got Helen's going to go this week because the way she eats disgusting.
The way she eats?
Yeah.
No one said that before.
This even worse. It's like watching a pig eat at breakfast. Bit stern, that one. Dear me.
Okay, Marion from Glasgow on the line. Hello, Marion.
Hiya.
Go for it.
I want Paul out.
Now, why is that?
Because he's using Helen. And this last week I've actually seen a different side to him.
Really? Before last week, were you sort of like, were you pro Paul?
No.
Okay. But now you've seen another side of him, and now you're even more anti.
I did predict that one, Dermot. I did say that.
Yes, actually, I did see another side to him, and I think Josh was right when he turned round and said the other night that he was using her.
Lovely. Marion, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Right,
okay,
bye.
guys, that's pretty much it for today. If you want to be part of Friday night's eviction show and witness a moment of TV history when Paul and Helen leave the Big Brother house, register at e4.com/Big Brother Comp. I'd like to be joined. Thanks a lot today, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Great
stuff.
Of course, Robin. On tomorrow's show, Lisa Riley will be talking us through her favourite comedy moments. You make sure you have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
E4's doing the live thing with Big Brother later tonight. We're back in the house at 11:05. And next tonight, you could call it puppy love. Norm is just around the corner.